Testing, testing.
1, 2,
Yeah, I can
3.
see it.
Welcome to our fall edition of the Town Hall for Hendry County Schools. We thank you for taking your time to be with us tonight and take just a couple minutes to recognize a few folks we have in the room. We have a board member, Ms. Busen, with us this evening. We are honored to have three members from the Bureau of School Improvement. They are here today doing some very important work with our phenomenal Digital Academy of Florida, which they can see us right now, but we can't see them. Is that right?
Yes, all right.
All right. Can we switch to them so we can see them? Is that possible?
Yes.
Yes.
You're asking me to do the impossible, escape, right?
We want to tell them hello, let them know we see them and they see us.
Yeah, we can do.
Sorry to throw that to you.
Remember, it wasn't reaching.
Yeah, right.
Maybe because you see better.
Maybe. Am I messing you up?
No, sir, it's just the latency on
Oh,
the,
okay.
She's on camera.
Yeah. she's off my ass.
There you are.
Yes.
Hey, Arnaz, how are you? We're saying hello. There's Mr. Clark Berry. Mr. Berry, Executive Director for Digital Academy of Florida. And Ms. Downs is the Director of Schools for Digital Academy of Florida. They're a stellar, incredible team that has led the charge to some phenomenal growth that the Bureau of School Improvement today got to look over and see. And we're incredibly proud of the things that are happening in that branch of Hendry County Schools we call Digital Academy of Florida. So thank you guys for taking your time to be with us this evening, and thank all the rest of you as well. We have a whole host of folks from around the district here, and we have one parent, is that correct?
Correct.
All right, what's your name?
Rebecca Miley.
Ms. Miley is here, so thank you for being here, Ms. Miley, we appreciate you. If anybody has, as we go through this, we want this to be an interactive conversational discussion. Our goal here today is to kind of update you on where we are in Hendry County Schools and in Digital Academy of Florida. And so if you see things that you want to know more about, please stop us, let's talk about it. That's the whole point of being here. So now we can go back, Francisco, or whoever's got the console.
Yes, sir.
And we will start. So we've got a handful of slides. We don't want to kill you with a slide presentation this evening, but we do want to give you some graphical data so that you can kind of see where we are and what's going on and kind of bear witness to some of the things that we're doing in Hendry County Schools. You can go ahead to the first slide. So we don't want to go, at the first town hall meeting, we spent quite a bit of time talking about our vision, our mission, and as well as our strategic plan. We spent a lot of time over the past several months reviewing those and updating those. They're there, they're on our website. Basically, we try to keep student focused and do the things around that help drive student achievement, whether that be collaborating with community partners such as we're doing this evening, no matter if it deals with our finances or whatever that may be. The whole point of what we do through our strategic plan is make sure that we focus around learning for the learners that we have the honor and privilege to serve here. And all these 6 things kind of surround that and make that possible. We're really, really proud of some of the things that we have done in Hendry County Schools, and we have a lot to be proud of. And so we're going to talk to you about a couple of those this evening. So one of the things is that for the first time in the history of Hendry County Schools, since school grades and district grades have been a thing, we are a B-rated school district. We're incredibly proud of that. We can make excuses, and we did make excuses, but at the end of the day, we know that good teaching and good learning is where we get the most gains and where we get the academic growth. Across our district right now, 7 of our 10 schools are either an A or B. We had 3 of them that were C's, and those 3 C's are on an incredible upward trajectory. So we're excited about where we are. We know that the students we're serving are getting good quality academic rigor and education. And so we're incredibly proud of what we are doing there. So we're very proud of our staff. And where it matters is in the classroom. Those teachers and the work they do and the learning that the students are doing. It's not me, it's not that every day, it's the whole team making that happen. I couldn't be prouder of the team that we have. So we have 4 main pillars that we stand on that we feel like are key that have driven our school district to a safer place and to a better place academically. One of those things is that when the parents or the guardians of these children, when they wake them up in the morning and they send them to us or bring them to us, they've got to know they're safe. The students have to know that they're safe while they're in our custody. So there's a lot of things that we have done, and again, I'm not going to sit and read things to you. Every single one of you can read probably better than I can. But we have gone the extra mile. We like to at least think that we are some of the trendsetters in the state with some of the things that we're doing with regard to our guardians, with regard to our metal detection system, with our stance toward the things that we accept and don't accept on our campuses. And so safety is the utmost importance. This year, we have hired guardians, and so we have guardians that we are paying to be a part as well as an SRO on campuses. We've had the sheriff and law enforcement on our campuses multiple times, talking to students, trying to be proactive, let them know, that we're there for them and we're partnering with them to keep them safe. And so we're constantly in front of other groups, letting the community know that what we're doing and the private things that we're doing as well. All of that has led to the point where we have other districts from around the state constantly reaching out, either myself, Mr. Clay, or other leaders, wanting to know how we're doing it, what we're doing, how are we making these things happen. And so we like to think that we're one of the trailblazers in the state when it comes to school safety and how we keep our students safe, and we're proud of that. Next slide is dealing with the academics. If we do not know, our goal here is to teach students. That's what we're for. That's what a school does, right? School, we know that students learn in different ways, and so we have many different layers of academics, but at the end of the day, good teaching is where we have focused an enormous amount of our efforts in the last 5 years. How do we prepare our teachers to be better teachers in the classroom so that they connect with students and they deliver the highest level of rigor that a student can achieve while they're in the classroom, no matter if they're in one of our brick and mortar classrooms or if they're in one of our online schools through Digital Academy in Florida or anywhere in between. We want to ensure that our teachers are prepared and they're doing the right things and they're aligned with state standards and they're bringing the relevance to the things that the students need to know so that, number one, they can be successful as they're evaluated in the state and as they leave us and they move into the life format. And they need to go be happy and be productive. So we feel like we're doing a much better job than we've ever done in that, and we're on an upward trajectory, and we're very, very proud of that. There's a whole lot of reasons why we're doing that. We were talking earlier in the week, and we're kind of evaluating ourselves. 5 years ago, walking into a classroom and evaluating what a teacher was doing on a random basis didn't happen. Today, it's standard practice. We do those things. Standards-based planning is where our teachers sit and they plan together on grade level content materials, and they share their information and they work together to make sure that the students are receiving that on a very widespread basis in a very common format. We have some of the best leaders in the state here in the district with regards to what we're doing with standards-based planning, and we're sharing that across our district and with other schools, and even in now in Digital Academy in Florida, they're receiving that. So we're super proud of that. So we try to rub as much love as we can on our staff and our people through our supports and the things that we do. And one of the things that's not up there this year, we received a donation, so we're doing appreciation. We're doing ice cream, we're doing coffee, and we're just, the district staff is going to the schools, and you wouldn't believe the joy you bring to a teacher, when you hand them a cup of coffee and you say, thank you for everything you do, or ice cream. I love ice cream, who doesn't love ice cream? And so when you do the little things, we drive culture. We're making our teachers see that we're proud of who they are and that they're with us, and those little things do matter for everything that they do. So academics is definitely one of the legs on the stool that's holding up what we're doing here today. Dr. Jay's waving the magic wand.
I'm trying.
So I've said it 1 million and 1 million times and 1 million times again, that it doesn't matter how you look at it, we are a business. We are an academic business, our job is teaching, but at the end of the day, we are a business. We have income and we have expenses, and we have to monitor that just like any business would monitor their income and expenses. It is very important that we live within our means. It's very important that we take the means that we have and we drive it toward the things that are important on our strategic plan and our mission and our vision, which is educating the babies and the students that come to us every single day. And so we're very proud of the fact that we have had some incredible financial growth over the last handful of years. In fact, the state rates each school district, all 67 school districts, gets a financial rating. And we're proud to be at the top of that list based on how we use the FEFP money that we're given, based on how we invest the money back into our students, and how we are good stewards of taxpayer dollars. So we're very proud of that. And so that has to be, a pillar on where we stand. We today are at an exact balanced budget, and that's important. Not a lot of school districts can say that. They're either hemorrhaging students, they've lost the value of the FEFP, or for various reasons, we are at a balanced budget. The money that we're taking in is exactly what we're projected to spend at the end of the year, and we have a healthy financial reserve. And so we're very, very proud of where we are financially. That enables us to continue thinking of how we're going to invest and how we're going to continue to upward climb academically and safely, and the rest of those areas that we talked about. And the last area that we're going to talk about is going to be the culture of our district. The culture of our district is very important. We are in a choice climate. The parents have choices, the students have choices. What we want to do is create a culture where they want to be. A culture that's inviting and welcoming, warming, where the students know that they're coming to learn and be challenged with the educational rigor that we have prepared for them. And that they're safe when they're here. We want a culture that our employees know that they're appreciated, and that our employees know that they've got the opportunity to learn and grow themselves. And so all these things are important to us. And so we're trying to create that high culture business climate in an educational arena that produces, a high quality public school, being able to support what we need to be able to do to educate students. We believe that it's working. We know that our retention rate last year was incredible. We had to look for less teachers than we had to last year that we had in a very long time. We're doing a lot of grow our own. We've had a lot of students that have come back into our teaching ranks. We've got a lot of paraprofessionals now that have worked their way through their college coursework, and now they're teaching with us. And so we know that we believe that we create that cultural environment where people want to be and our employees want to stay and grow and learn. Part of that is making sure that those strong finances are shown through their paycheck. Right now, our starter teacher salary is $52,000. That's one of the highest of the rural districts in the state of Florida. And so we're trying to make sure we invest the money in the places that show the largest return back for us as a school district. And there's no better way to do it than culturally, so that we're a place where we and parents and students all love to be, work, and grow together. So those are the four pillars that we feel like have really made Hendry County Schools strong as a district, and that we're standing on strong ground and strong legs. We're going to continue that. We're not perfect. We know we've got room to grow. We know we have areas that we still need to shore up. I don't think that will ever change. It doesn't matter where we are. When we reach the point where we're in a district, we're still going to have areas that we need to improve in, that we need to grow in. And that's where we are today. We're proud of where we are. We know we've had a great journey upward climb, and we know we've got more to do. We're going to continue doing that. We're going to continue looking for factors to make us better teachers, better leaders as we go forward. One of the things that's really important, you can go, yeah, that's fine. You can go to that. One of the things that's very,
I want to talk about playful for a
oh Lord,
second.
when they don't
I really didn't
understand.
know.
Lynette,
10 seconds.
okay.
Not-
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Just real quick, we're piloting a new program in January. We just want parents to know that this is coming. It is to help support students with mental health needs in our district, and it's going to address not just those big, intense, therapy issues, but stress, family life stress, daily life stress, stress about a test, those kind of things. But it's a digital platform that allows students to text with coaches or access it through the computer, where they text with coaches who are trained and supervised by licensed mental health counselors, and the owner herself is a licensed mental health counselor. And so we're going to pilot that the next semester, get some data back, and then we'll look at whether we wish to continue to use that.
And this is all from a grant.
Yes, and it's
So-
all from a grant that we.
Some incredible business partners in
Yes.
the region that helped us get there. And mental health is one of the things that has really escalated exponentially in the district. I don't know if it's since COVID or if it's just sign of the times or whatever it is. And so we have wrapped a lot, and Ms. White and her team has done an enormous amount around that. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes.
I love a question. Ms. White, how many, for the Claypool, who has access to
It will
that?
be
Does it have to be a referral, or is that for every single
It's
kid?
gonna be
and does
for
it involve
every
PAOF kids too?
Every student in middle and high school will have access to it. They do not have to use it, it's not mandatory. Parents will have the right to opt out if they do not want their child to access it, and if a child tries at that point, the system will not allow them.
So they're automatically enrolled until a parent opts out?
Yes, we're gonna send out flyers and letters that say all that. There'll be a big push in January where you'll see that information going out.
Okay?
And then if for some reason the child gets online, they didn't know that happened, and then the parent comes, so we can always, at that time, opt them out.
And is that going to be accessible to DAOF students as well?
It will just be in our brick and mortar. And our HSA, Hendry Success Academy. And it does not take the place of school counselors or people.
Yeah, it's in addition to.
Yes, and it, because they don't always feel comfortable reaching out to the adult, right? They want, you know, we're gonna try technology and see how that goes.
They can access it through ClassLink and also on text.
So we can probably all easily agree that one of the components that a student needs to learn is to be in school. No matter if that's in school, brick and mortar, no matter if that's online, we know that attendance is important. They need to be in the presence of that teaching when it's happening. And I will shamefully and willfully admit that I completely stole this idea from a colleague superintendent in the Panhandle, and they are doing a superintendent's challenge for attendance. And what they're doing, they're going to, so basically we're going to the tested schools, and any students who has perfect attendance in January, February, March, and April, we're going to put their names into a hat, a bowl, whatever, and draw one, and they're going to get a $100 bill. And so it's an incentive, it's a carrot, it's to drive up attendance. The one district that I copied that from, they noticed remarkable growth in the 100% category of students. And so get the students there. If we have to give them incentives or rewards for doing that in this manner, we're glad to do it. At the end of the day, what we want students in school, we want students learning, and if this is just one way we can do it, then that's what we're trying to do. So this is really important. You'll learn more about that. We're going to talk about it next week at the board meeting, and then we're going to really roll it out with a video within Hendry County Schools starting next week as well. So lots of information to come about that. Okay? Great. Go ahead.
It's just a thank you.
Yep. Thank you for everyone. Our parents are very important. The district staff works really hard. We got great partners in BSI and DAOF, so we thank everyone for their work. This really, the lift that has happened here is because of everyone in this room, including our board, being supportive and helping us being able to get to where we are. We have had phenomenal growth, and we're in a great place for any school district in Florida, in my mind. And so we're proud to be here. So thank you all for the work that you do. So I think now Dr. Staley is going to come up and kind of go through some data.
Are you gonna keep doing that? You want me to take it?
It'll work easier if it's here, but
If it's in my hand,
it's closer to that computer.
it'll just be in my hand. It's a heck of a clicker. So, the Digital Academy of Florida, when we were here the last time, we laid out our district managed turnaround plan for DAOF, because they are in a turnaround because of their 2 Ds in a row. We have put things in place for them to turn around the school and to prevent a 3rd D, technically a 4th. Oh, okay. I was like, it's not working. You said it was working closer. So these are the things that surround DAOF, the Digital Academy of Florida. What we saw in our first meeting in October was the total enrollment was 7,069, I believe. The total enrollment right now is 5,611, and that is targeted and intentional. So I'll explain that in just a little bit. But the facts around all of that are the systems that we have changed and put into place to put students where they belong. And sometimes they don't belong in a digital platform. So sometimes we need to go to brick and mortar. So that is part of the push for DAOF to change in those systems. And that's what they have so rightfully done. So this is where we were. These are the Ds. This is last year's data, and we're not going to harp too much on that because even right now, it's different. So this is where we want to be. Last year we had 43% of the points. This year we would like to get to 54% of the points, and those are the target areas, and those are the targets. And we had this on the last presentation as well. So that is the target right now, and I can tell you that even now, some of those we are exceeding some of those. So, and we're halfway through the year. So this was part of the improvement plan. Again, this was on the last slide presentation, but I just want you to know and be reminded that the area of focus was ensuring benchmark aligned instruction and providing equivalent experiences throughout lessons. This is in the SIP plan, the school improvement plan for DAOF. And this was area number 1 for focus. So we are changing the instruction. We are targeting the instruction, and we are monitoring as a district the instruction that is going on. So right now, here's our DAF walkthrough data tracking. And our expectations are learning targets embedded within a performance scale, learning target is aligned to the critical content of the standard, learning target is accessible and communicated to students throughout the lesson, and then student actions and data demonstrate that they understand the critical content. These are the areas that we chose to focus on to raise that academic rigor. In September, you'll see blue, October orange, and now November gray. The amount of areas that we are seeing and the amount of walkthroughs that we are doing as a district and the DAOF is doing with their admin is admirable. And what we are seeing is vast improvement in what they are doing as a school for instruction. And then our look-fors, instruction is aligned to grade level benchmark expectations, tasks are aligned, and teacher uses effective engagement strategies. And you can see in the gray how much improvement they have gone from September to November. And this is what we are looking for every time we go into their classrooms, and we are doing walkthroughs. And when I say walkthroughs, no, we are not physically walking through like we do in brick and mortar, but we are sitting online and walking through and getting into those classrooms and looking at the student engagement and watching how they are targeting their lessons, putting up targets on each slide. All of the things that we are doing brick and mortar that we know work, we have put into place at DAOF, and they have taken it and they have run with it, and they're doing a fantastic job. So one of the things forever with an online school is attendance, and we'll talk about their actual attendance, but I want to talk about their PM2 attendance as well. So right now, our target is 95% attendance for PM2. And so right now, with the second week, and I think today was where we stopped for this data, 87% have been tested in ELA and 86% have been tested in math, which is phenomenal. With 9 days in, they have the rest of, well, they have tomorrow, the rest of this week, they have tomorrow, and they have all of next week to finish to get that 95%. The testing window technically does not end until January 25th, but we are under the gun with DAOF because there is a state board meeting on January 21st where we have to present our PM2 data. So we have asked, and they have delivered that all or most of their students are done before Christmas. So we're getting there, and it's been amazing. So this is the proficiency data for math and ELA. In December, now this is year over year, so this is PM2 data last year in 2024 and PM2 data currently in 2025. So you'll see the percentages. Math was about 26%, I believe, and we are up to 28, 29? And then ELA proficiency was at 37. And then our current proficiency is about 47. So about across the board, Roberto, it was about 10% increase. Now some of this has changed because of this week's data. So some of it has gone up a little bit because we did this a couple of days ago. So the data that we are showing has vast improvements, and we are very excited and so excited to be working with them and be able to show a difference in 5,600 kids. So the other area of focus was attendance. Before this year, attendance was a hit or miss. They pulled kids in and, what do you say? Some of the kids worked asynchronously a lot. Some of the kids worked synchronously. So this year, one of the absolutes for the district and then the absolute for DAOF was that kids are present, kids are on camera, and kids are participating. So you'll see a couple of different attendance data that show what we've done. So here now is the average weekly attendance for all of the weeks of this year. I think it's September that we started in. So we gave, the blue is 24, 25, and the orange is 25, 26. And you will see in week 16 there up to 95% attendance of kids logging in every day to their classes. So what we had decided as a team, DAOF, decided that this is great news, but not quite good enough for the tracking. So they wanted to improve it even more. So what this is the weekly attendance rate for these three criteria. The kids have to be on camera and engaged. They have to, all of the absences are excused and unexcused, so they don't make it different. A lot of the schools, brick and mortar, excused don't really count as a full absence, but unexcused do. And then the unengaged student is marked as absent. So if a teacher has a child in class that is not participating, maybe, sometimes you see just their little head, or you see their pillow in the background, or whatever it is that they see, they're not participating, they are marked absent. They get enough of these and they go through an escalation process where the process is, they get counseled, they get spoken to, not just they, the parents. They all have meetings with their principals, with their teachers, it's a great escalation process. Some of them get a second chance to go back and be participatory in all of their classes, and some of them, it's not the place for them and they need to go to brick and mortar. So the sheer fact that they are keeping this data is in and of itself amazing, because we could just go with the 95% that are logging in, but that's not where we want to be. That's not where we want to land. We want to do better, and they are. They're doing fantastic with this. And then their early warning system, they have a, what is she, and I don't want to ask Laura because I'll go with that one. Monster tracker. I always forget the M word. The monster tracker, where they have all 5,600 and some students that are on this, and then they track all of this data. So their student enrollment, obviously their attendance, they look at 10% or more school days that are out. Suspensions, yes, they still have suspensions in a virtual platform. Level 1 on ELA or math, substantial deficiencies in reading and or math, and then retentions. And they are targeting each and every one of these areas with improvement. So even with like substantial deficiencies, they are pulling kids and they are doing small group work, just like we would do in brick and mortar. And then these are the three commissioners' requirements that we are required to report on in January. They have not changed. So it's hiring a principal for DAOF. We did that, and she unfortunately could not be here tonight because her daughter is graduating from college at UCF, but Mrs. Rosa Perez is now the principal in county for DAOF, and she has been in every classroom, in every planning period, in everything she can get her hands on, she's doing, taking notes, using her data, asking them for, all of their data, and just really working with them and making sure that they are working on their turnaround, because she has done it and she knows what is needed. And so then the smaller class sizes, I did not put this on here, but we have reduced the class sizes by hiring more teachers. So I believe the ratio is 1 to 50 in elementary and 1 to 175 in middle and high. Whereas last year it was it depends on the day. I think Clark said today it was 1 to 220, 210 last year in secondary, and it was 1 to 65 in elementary. So they have reduced those numbers as well, which all of these changes we are seeing in the academic performance of these kids. And that is our goal. Any questions? Anything I can answer?
Comments? Clarifications? As a parent, we had one parent, I wondered, was there anything specific she wanted to know?
You want to put her on the spot?
I just wondered, didn't know if there was anything she wanted to ask or know about specifically?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
We just, really wanted to say on behalf of the department that the school district as well as the school has been phenomenal partners. We are very happy about the work that has been done this year. And so we just wanted to also offer that publicly, that you are on track with your plan. You have met those requirements and continue to always bring what you need to the table. And so we appreciate that partnership and the willingness to be transparent in those things that we do need to have the harder conversations around. And so we look forward to those results and continuing on mid-year to the end of this journey.
Awesome.
We appreciate you. There have been tears, there have been gnashing of teeth, mainly from me. But it has been, it will be worth it. It will be worth it because we are doing good things for these kids.
I have a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I was at the last town hall meeting and I had some spirited comments to share. And tonight's no different. And so my position on this is that I'm passionate about kids. I'm passionate about kids' outcomes. I made a comment today. I heard what the Commissioner of Education said at the Florida School Board Association meeting. And, it's been a little frustrating for me. Like, I'm in it for the kids. Like, that's whose side I'm on. I'm always going to choose their side. I'm always going to choose the side of outcome. And it's just been a little disheartening to me to see how long that the subpar outcomes have been able to go on without oversight from the state coming in and saying, this is what we need to do now. I mean, because I think about every year, every person who took that, took their choice dollars and put them into there, and those kids were not getting the outcomes that they needed. And that's just, I'm not trying to smack anybody around, but I just think that it's just concerning to me that we've been in this relationship with DAOF since 2019, and it's, the DOE finally coming to the table on this and saying, like, we've got to turn this around and working with the school district and to identify these areas and set these parameters so we have guardrails up so we didn't have, triple Ds. And so I'd really like the DOE to not let that happen. I mean, I just wish we just stepped in and made these improvements sooner.
Yeah, point taken. I think the first D that was there was in, that hold harmless. And that's why you hear Dr. Staley say there's 2 Ds. And so for that, because of changing the testing criteria, not just this school, but any school that earned that grade were held harmless because we were changing standards, we were changing tests, and so we didn't penalize, right, as a state. I agree with you. I'm still passionate, right, because kids sat there during that time right? And that's why even though we didn't penalize and step in on the first D, you still see it reported on that slide. And it was still brought up at the state board meeting, as we know we've had two, and that's why we're in a turnaround status, but we also know that 3 would have been reported. So for that, please understand. you know,
Because
where
it's
you're
not like
coming
a, it's not like a, oh, we have 700 kids at the school, we have 7,000, that's in a whole district.
from. Absolutely, and I think.
Like us, and that's the, like the scale of that is what has, and the kids who underperformed and were allowed to underperform, and like listening to, it was not shocking to me because I had heard feedback, from just people, because I've made a spirited blog post about how I felt about DAOF, and I've been completely transparent and said everything I'm saying right here to the leadership of DAOF. But that was, you know, they were underperforming even in 2019, coming into the new FSA fast.
Right.
And so,
Yeah, and for us, we look at the district as the, not the provider, but the district's role in ensuring that all schools in the district are meeting the standard. And so when we look at DAOF, they are the provider that was chosen to do that. But one of the criteria that was placed on the district was to assign that principal, because we don't look at the provider as the source of the turnaround effort. We look at the district. And so that criteria being set by the commissioner was to say that we are putting the onus on the district and not the provider, so to speak, to say that we are the ones monitoring. And so they have stepped in to do that. Unfortunately, with regard to, you know, how we enter into the conversation is based on the statutory requirements. So that first D, we give recommendations. The second D is a turnaround plan that's a little bit more stringent. And there won't be an opportunity for a next D because that's already been set forth from the commissioner's conditions. That if that occurs, their next step would be to determine what they're going to do with regard to picking another provider or closing the school. So that's where we are. So I think you can kind of stay confident in that either way, student performance is going to go up, but there will not be an opportunity to provide that service to students anymore because they will need to be serviced by the schools in their district, or if they're in the district, the schools that are demonstrating success.
I heard that loud and clear from the commissioner when I viewed that video. And my second thing I want to say is, I hear people like, oh, we're an A, we're a B, and that means that's so misleading to me. Because when I think about it, and I think school grades, the purpose of those are to let lay people, parents, the community have an accurate reflection of how a school is performing. And when you say A to somebody, to a typical person who's not wrapped up in education, then they're thinking 90 to 100%. Or back in when I was not so old, it was a 93 to 100%. And, you know, when we're looking at, we're just not trying to be a D, like D is a really low bar. Like when you're looking at proficiency in the games and all the things that go into that. And so, in the process of school improvement, like I like to see, I don't want to see it there, I would just have to be a C, because the C's not, when you look at the hard data on that, it's not impressive. I would love to see hard numbers of this is what minimum proficiency has to look like, and that be above what the grading scale is with this, because I just think it's so misleading. It's misleading to communities, parents. When you are looking at saying my kid's going to an A school in Florida, that's not exactly Harvard. I think that there has to, it would be more beneficial and clear to education consumers if there were hard numbers of this is what you absolutely have to have, not the grade number, because that goal moves back and forth too. The one
We've heard that before. Unfortunately, that's way out of my jurisdiction in regard to accountability and research and measurement, how they measure that versus what a standard grading scale may be for A or B in school versus at bell curve when it comes to the outcome. So definitely appreciate that comment, and we'll bring that back again. We're very privileged to be here. I will say that the leadership that is here has been committed. Your superintendent and deputy are in the room every single time, and I cannot say that for every district that we work And so many times we do not get to
Thank
that
you.
level of leadership that says I am that committed to being a part of this process for my district. They're always in the room. There's not a time that I've been here that Mr. Swindle, Dr. Staley have not been present. And that's, if I'm here, if they're here, whoever, it doesn't matter. If we're here and we're having that conversation, they're both present and in the room. If we're online and talking about something, one of the two are in the room, if not both. So that is something that we don't often see, and I commend that. So I just wanted to also let you know that from our standpoint, we work all over the state. It's not often that I have a superintendent sitting.
So, we'll talk about our raise.
Same.
Well, so you guys you're an elected superintendent and state statute said that, so.
So, I do want to take the opportunity to expand on what the conversation you guys are having. And what I heard was the grade is not always reflective of what's happening in the school, right? And I want to make sure that we pull the curtain back a little bit on what went on within the Digital Academy of Florida. When you look at 3 Ds, one being a baseline year and then 2 back-to-back years, they, over the past year, they have improved a lot with regard to how they plan, how they deliver, and how they teach students. No doubt about that. But probably one of the biggest things, in my opinion, that really helped the academic growth that they've had was our system overall. And I say our because Digital Academy of Florida is one of our schools. It was a come one, come all. Bring, whatever your issue is, you want to be in our school, come on. If you can make it, if you want to be online, be online. If you can't, then just do it when you can. And unfortunately, what we know is that there is a sector of students and their learning partners that will allow that to become problematic, and they'll take advantage of that situation. Simply put, we were at 7,000 students. Today we're at 5,600 students, and the grade skyrocketed. What I'm saying is there's always been good teaching and learning happening at Digital Academy of Florida. However, that data was getting drowned by those 1,500 students who were gaming the system so they could legally be enrolled and have zero engagement into the school whatsoever. And so when they were removed and you truly look behind the curtain of what's going on, although they have improved a lot, it was always pretty good. And the students that were learning and engaging were getting a good education. It wasn't that there was 6,000 students sitting there that were D students. That was not the case at all. So I wanted to say that, and to their defense, the wonderful director of schools, Laura Downs, and the executive director, Clark Berry, they were sounding that alarm for 2 years. They were saying, we've got to address this. We know this is killing us. And so they really drove that change this year and made that happen. And so all of that together, we know is going to create a great learning environment where the grade, set the bar where you want, grade however you want. We know those students that are there are engaging and learning, and we're proud of that. So all of it together has worked very well.
Thank you for your kind words.
Yep. Anyone have anything else? Yes, sir.
Not on the online school. I kind of watched the last school board meeting in Lavelle, and I don't really understand the whole thing. Where are we sitting with the new high school?
We are sitting on pins and needles waiting for South Florida Water Management District to issue our final construction permit, which we think will happen no later than a week from tomorrow. No later than. If we're lucky at all, it'll happen before then. So in under 7 days, we hope to have a permit in hand, and we can post that on a plaque outside of the property, and the contractors will start mobilizing equipment and go to work.
Which means a groundbreaking is shortly after that.
We're looking at possibly mid-February for a groundbreaking ceremony. We want to make sure that they've had enough time to make some mounds of dirt and stuff happening where it looks like a construction site and not just a bare field with equipment sitting there.
Are we aiming for the AD class of 29 to graduate?
27, right?
Yeah. So we will be we're at today, right? We're roughly 4 months behind where our anticipated start date was originally, but we still anticipate moving in that school in August of 27. Now, it may not be 100% complete, but where the students should be sitting and learning will be, and we may be doing ancillary things around campus and tidying up other pieces. And then, so that class of 27 should graduate, which will be in 28, right? starting in 27, graduating in 28. We anticipate them graduating from that facility. Good questions we've had, and we get that a lot, and we just kind of keep waiting. Any day we go, okay, we're gonna get it, for like over a month now. And so we're glad, we're very proud of where we are. We're sorry it took so long. Mr. Houston he didn't have any gray hairs when we started, no, okay. Any other questions? Well, thank you to our parent who came, and thank you to the BSI team and staff that is here. Thank you, district team, for taking your time to be with us.
Please don't forget to sign in.
Yes, if you have not signed in, please do so. Other than that, thank you all very much. Have a safe drive home.
You guys be careful.